Pioneers are explorers. Pioneers are innovators. Pioneers are leaders. We are Marietta College. We are pioneers. Find out how you can become a PIO at www.marietta.edu.
Coming up today on NewsCenter 15, children reunited with their family after have been missing for the past year.
And skateboard icon Tony Hawk donates to a memorial fund.
We'll have these stories and more. NewsCenter 15 starts now. Good afternoon and welcome to Monday's edition of NewsCenter 15. I'm Ben Stinson.
And I'm Zach Heiserup.
Topping our news this afternoon, 2 children who were abducted almost a year ago from Clay County, Missouri, were found last Wednesday with their non-custodial mother in Winn-Dixie supermarket located in Central Florida. Christy Gilley, 36 years old, was arrested on an out-of-state fugitive warrant and taken into police custody according to authorities. Officers found Gilley and the 2 children after running a routine vehicle tag check that indicated the vehicle owner was a fugitive. The 2 children were turned over to the Florida Department of Children and Families, where they would be reunited with their family members in Missouri.
Around 9 p.m. on Friday, a 50-car freight train carrying hazardous chemicals was derailed in Ohio near the Pennsylvania state line. The post-derailment fire spanned the length of the train cars, but has since reduced in intensity, which still remaining active and blocking the 2 main tracks on Saturday. Authorities launched a federal investigation, and the Environmental Protection Agency has been monitoring air quality from the various chemicals found in at least 20 of the 100 cars on the train. There has been no information regarding what caused the derailment yet, and no injuries or damages have been reported.
Current conditions.
And here to provide a first, Landon Santini.
Thank you very much, guys. It's great to be back. Well, after 2 straight weeks of having relatively cool, cold winter temperatures, it's going to be warming up a little bit. Today it feels like about 52 degrees outside, cloudy conditions, a rather low UV index and fair air quality with a relatively low pollen count, though that's sure to climb in the next few days. We'll talk about why a little bit later. Today the winds will be running around the south-southwest at about 12 miles per hour. The humidity is about 36% today. We had our sunrise earlier today, a little bit before 7:30 in the morning, and we'll have our sunset about 7 to 6 later on this evening. Something else that we'll be getting in a few hours later on this evening would be some rather damp, dreary, rainy conditions, and that will affect the rest of the week going forward, going on into the weekend. But we'll talk about that in a bit more detail when I return later on in the program for the 5-day forecast, and we're looking forward to delivering the first one of the semester to y'all. But until then, back to you guys at the desk.
Saturday, the U.S. military shot down a suspected Chinese spy balloon traveling above sensitive military sites along the Carolina coast. China said this was an accident involving a civilian aircraft and threatened repercussions. They responded with saying they reserve the right to take further action and criticized the U.S. for an overreaction and violation of international practices. The balloon in the sky above the U.S. military site this week serves as a severe blow to the already strained U.S.-China relations that have been on a downward slope for several years.
Skateboard icon Tony Hawk says he will be donating half of all proceeds from sales of autographed photos of himself and BMX legend Rick Thorne to the Memorial Fund for Tyree Nichols, which also includes plans for building a public skate park in his honor. Nichols was a 29-year-old father to a 4-year-old boy with a passion for photography and skateboarding, who died on January 10th after police stopped him for a traffic violation and brutally beat him. The photos can be found on Thorne's website and purchased for $30. Hawk tweeted Friday he was a talented skater among other admirable traits. Let's keep his legacy alive.
Coming up, Turkey and Syria were hit with a 7.8 magnitude earthquake.
A train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio, sparked a massive fire.
Stay with us.
Hey, this is Kevin Love from the Cleveland Cavaliers. Right now, many of us feel anxious. Mindfulness can help you ease those feelings. My nonprofit is partnering with Headspace to offer free content to help you stress less. Head to kevinlovefund.org/headspace.
Here's to the straggly ones, the first ones. But hey, I look good with this ones. The black, brown, red, and gray ones. The itchy ones. The ones grown by Dad. The ones grown for Dad. The I nearly didn't do it this year ones, and the absolutely filthy ones. They all raise awareness, raise funds, start conversations, and save lives. Because whatever you grow will save a bro. Learn more at Movember.com.
Turkey and Syria were hit by a 7.8 magnitude earthquake, killing over 3,400 and leaving thousands homeless. Search and rescue teams are still searching rubble for survivors as seismic activity rattles the region. Tens of thousands spend the night in the cold. The United States President Joe Biden is offering his assistance to Turkey. Multiple buildings collapsed across a wide area, and the United States Geological Survey measures quake at 7.8 with 18-kilometer depth. Hospitals are damaged, including one collapsing, and furthermore, the cold temperatures might reduce the time limit for rescuers. Offers of aid currently pour in from around the world.
Navy vessels are in coastal South Carolina to recover pieces of the suspected Chinese surveillance balloon shot down over the weekend. The USS Carter Hall and USN's Pathfinder are collecting debris while an explosive ordnance disposal team monitors the situation. FBI and naval investigative agents are also involved in the operation. Rough seas have complicated efforts, and some debris may float to shore due to ocean currents. The public is asked to avoid contact and notify local law enforcement if debris is found. The balloon debris field is predicted to be 1,500 meters by 1,500 meters. The government faced criticism for possibly acting too slowly to shoot down the balloon.
A train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio sparked a massive fire. 5 rail cars are carrying vinyl chloride, which is unstable and could explode, hurling toxic fumes into the air. An evacuation zone in Ohio and Pennsylvania surrounding the site has been ordered by the Ohio government. Officials warn residents of grave danger of death in the immediate area. Those who refuse to leave could actually be arrested on a misdemeanor charge, and residents will not be allowed to return to the evacuation zone for the foreseeable future. The East Palestine City School District will be closed for the rest of the week. A mechanical issue was detected in the crew, causing the derailment.
A recent trial shows promise for a celery seed-derived drug in squamatic stroke cases. Patients given the drug had a 70% better chance of improved outcomes up to 90 days post-stroke. It's already approved in China, but not yet by the FDA. The celery seed-derived drug works alongside clot-bursting drugs procedures, and it may help protect brain tissue from damage once oxygenated blood is cut off. 795,000 people have a stroke in the United States each year, 87% being because of a lack of blood supply to the part of the body, leading to disability. The study will soon be presented at the International Stroke Conference in Dallas, Texas.
Next, Shakira has a new exhibit opening, AMC theater prices are increasing, and the Powerball reaching one of its biggest winnings in U.S. history.
We'll get all this and more in the latest news in Hollywood.
Dry right now, but we could be in for a wet evening and a wet weekend. Stay tuned for the 5-day forecast after this.
Where are we?
We are at Marietta College.
This is where we live, at Marietta College.
When kids need medical care, they face life-changing experiences. They miss out on the things that make being a kid fun. Starlight Children's Foundation programs entertain and inspire hospitalized kids. Learn more at starlight.org.
Marietta, a place some people call home.
A place of athletes.
A place of discovery.
A place for the future.
Your plan.
Your future.
Go Pios.
We all know Shakira, but did you know that there will be a display in Los Angeles coming soon showcasing her? The museum will have items such as her 2 outfits from the Super Bowl halftime performances, her crystallized electric guitar, handwritten lyrics, just to name a few. The exhibit will open up on March 4th and will be called Shakira, the Grammy Museum Experience. Shakira's musical evolution will be showcased, ranging from beginning a Latin performer in Colombia to being a multi-genre performer. 40 artifacts will be on display showing her personal archive.
On Monday, AMC Theaters, who is the largest theater chain in the nation, unveiled their new pricing for movie tickets. The seats in the front of the theater will be cheaper by $1 or $2 compared to the seats in the middle of the theater. This plan has already been placed in some AMC theaters, but by the end of the year, the plan will be in all domestic AMC theaters for showings after 4 p.m. This plan is an attempt to recover from the pandemic.
The $747 million Powerball jackpot was up for grabs this week. Powerball is played in 45 states as well as Washington, D.C., Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands, but there has not been a winner for the jackpot since November 19th of 2022. The jackpot has been growing and growing, so now the winning stands as the 9th largest in U.S. history. The odds of winning the Powerball jackpot is 1 in 292.2 million. When will we see another winner? We will just have to wait and see. In Hollywood news, now, a record-breaking night at the Grammy Awards. Sure, it was long, nearly 4 hours, but some memorable moments overshadowed the whole show.
Here's Evie with today's Hollywood Minute.
Hi everyone. There were so many highlights in this long show, but several stood out. Beyoncé made history at the 65th Grammy Awards with her win for Best Dance Electronic Music Album for Renaissance. The singer-songwriter's 32nd career Grammy surpassed classical music icon Sir George Chalotti for most Grammy Awards this of all time. She came into the awards with 9 nominations, more than any other artist winning 4. The night also crowned the latest EGOT winner as Viola Davis won Best Audiobook Narration and Storytelling Recording for Finding Me. Davis is just the 18th person to win all 4 major entertainment honors, an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony Award. Brandi Carlile won a trio of trophies, as did Bonnie Raitt, who looked around in disbelief at winning Song of the Year for Just Like That. Lizzo spent a portion of her acceptance speech for Record of the Year thanking Beyoncé. Song singer Samara Joy took home Best Jazz Vocal Album and the coveted Best News Artist Grammy. The night's final award saw Harry Styles, who'd already won Best Pop Vocal Album, winning Album of the Year for Harry's House. Another multiple award winners included Maverick, City Music, Kendrick Lamar, Kirk Franklin, Lin-Manuel Miranda, Willie Nelson, and Ozzy Osbourne. With today's Hollywood Minute, I'm Evie. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks for the look at Hollywood, Evie.
We'll head to Landon Santini now for a look at the extended weather forecast.
Well, as you can see, we're having some precipitation that's going to be headed towards our neck of the woods soon. It's coming up to the Mid-Ohio Valley from the southern middle portion of the country, from the northern area of Texas, southeast, carrying upwards towards most of the states, passing through our next door neighbor of Indiana, through the Buckeye state of Ohio. And it's going to be, over the next few days, gradually coming through our neck of the woods of the tri-state area of Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Charleston. Now, for the moment, we're not going to be having to be dealing with any of that immediately, not for a couple more hours, because if you take a look in the regional map in our lovely area of the Mid-Ohio Valley, we're very clear right now. So that's going to change in a couple hours as we get into the evening time, probably around 6 or 7 o'clock. And as a result, that's going to lead to some temperature cool downs. Starting on tomorrow, we'll have some partly sunny conditions with an expected high of 51, giving us a brief break from the evening rain. But that rain will kick up again as the temperatures warm up on Thursday with an expected high of 65. And that chance of rain we'll be having throughout most of that day will cause the temperatures to cool down again as the rain continues on Friday with an expected high of 51. Going on full swing into the weekend, the coldest day of the week on Saturday with partly sunny conditions and an expected high of 39. But then the weekend will end with a bit of a warm-up for the churchgoers on Sunday with an expected high of 48 and mostly sunny conditions. So after 2 straight weeks, the previous 2 weeks of relatively cool winter temperatures, we're going to be experiencing a bit of a warm-up, and that's going to be kind of fluctuating on and off throughout the rest of the week into the weekend thanks to this rain we're getting. And looking ahead a little bit, that looks like it might be the case again into the next week. But we'll talk more about that later on at the end of the program and when we come back later on for Thursday later this week. But until then, back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Landon. When we come back, Evie will have the latest in the world of sports.
Stay with us.
James Brown and Bill Cowher welcoming you back to the Midnight Snack Run.
This is one tricky obstacle course.
He's reaching, but he pushes it away. He's approaching a plate of iced cookies. He blows right by him.
Oh, the fridge.
Looks like he's headed for the soda. Wait, he jukes left, grabs the water bottle.
Now he's just got to get out of there.
Look what dropped from the sky.
Don't do it, Dennis. That's the way you execute a Midnight Snack Run.
Stand Up to Cancer and Rally want you to reduce your risk for cancer.
Go to takeahealthystand.org.
Marietta College, home of the pioneers. A small town on the Ohio River with a tight-knit community and tons of opportunity. Find a home here at Marietta College. bring forth a pioneer.
What are we gonna do? Ta-da! All right. Come on, every pony. Woo!
Liza, I just love how ponies are better together.
Me too. You know, same thing with Girl Scouts, Kamiko. Every day they make each other shine a little brighter.
And they make the world around them a better place. So join Girl Scouts.
And be a part of the friendship and magic.
And now we're back with Evie for a look at sports.
Tell us what's been happening, Evie.
I'll give you the rundown now. Indiana reaches number 2 in the women's AP top with South Carolina remaining number 1. South Carolina beat a top opponent to stay number 1 in the Associated Press Women's College Basketball poll. This was released Monday and now has a showdown with another one this weekend. The Gamecocks 23-0 topped the number 5 University of Connecticut 81-87 on Sunday to remain unbeaten and stay the unanimous choice atop the poll from the 28-member national media panel. After facing Auburn on Thursday, South Carolina will play number 3 Louisiana State University on Sunday in a matchup of the last 2 unbeatens in Division I women's college basketball. The Minnesota Vikings hired Brian Flores as their defensive coordinator on Monday, their first step toward trying to revive a once dominant unit that ranked among the NFL's worst last season. Flores was a senior defensive assistant and linebackers coach this season for Pittsburgh, after 3 years as head coach in Miami, prior to being hired for the Dolphins. Flores was an assistant for 8 seasons for New England's defense. The Patriots won 4 Super Bowls during his time there. Flores replaced Ed Donatel, who was fired last month by Coach Kevin O'Connell after 1 year together. The Vikings were second worst in the league in yards followed and 4th worst in points allowed during the regular season. The NFC North champions were ousted from the playoffs in the wild card round by the New York Giants as quarterback Daniel Jones threw 301 yards and rushed for 78. 7-time Pro Bowl receiver R.J. Green retired on Monday after 12 seasons in the NFL. The 34-year-old spent a decade with the Cincinnati Bengals before signing with the Arizona Cardinals for the last 2 seasons of his career. Selected by the Bengals with the number 4 overall pick of the 2011 draft out of Georgia, Green was a Pro Bowl selection in each of his first 7 seasons, topping 1,000 yards receiving 6 times. The 60-foot-4, 207-pounder had speed and a low-key personality that made him favorite among his teammates. He teamed with quarterback Andy Dalton to lead the Bengals to the playoffs every year from 2011 to 2015, though they never won a game in the postseason. That's all I have for the world of sports. I'm Evie. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Evie. Joining us now at the desk is Landon for our last look at the weather.
We sum it up. After a brief bout of rain from about a few days ago, we're having a bit of a warm-up and a dry spell today, but later on this evening we'll be getting another bout of rain and temperatures fluctuating from the higher 50s and the lower 40s going into the weekend as we get even more rain that will lead to a very drastic cool down to about 39 on Saturday before it starts warming up again on Friday. So it's a bit too early to say whether or not this will be a back-to-back thing in the next week, but, well, it looks like that very well could be the case. We'll just have to wait and see. Either way, I'm very excited to be back at the campus of Marietta College for this new semester of newscasts. You guys excited to be back?
Oh, I'm extremely excited.
What are you hoping to get out of the new semester?
A good education.
Exactly. And on that note, that's it for today's broadcast. Thank you for watching. We hope you'll join us Tuesdays and Thursdays at 12:30 and 6:30 for WCMO NewsCenter 15 Marietta College Broadcasting. See you next time.
Shout out Floor Director.